Diana, it's Friday's Eve. I said it's Friday's Eve. And then this is our last day before our Thanksgiving break. Do I need to do a PSA telling people not to eat so much leftover turkey until it's outside the lines?
Oh, you still got 2 weeks to write.
Oh,
so
thank you.
that'd be a good time, right?
Yay, awesome.
But man, no pork. I didn't even have food.
You know, people have been known to eat turkey and Thanksgiving leftovers outside the realm. Right, it is 9 o'clock, everyone. I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, please let me know you're here. If you don't let me know you're here, a warrant may be issued for your arrest. We are going to take our recess at noon. So when I call the docket, if you want to step out, if your attorney is not here and you want to call your attorney and tell them to come, you're more than welcome to do so. For those cases that are not taken care of before noon, you will be back in the afternoon. Larry Berry. In custody, we have John Bueno, David Kent, Matt Burt, Pio Quinto Leon.
Present.
In custody, we have Antoine Lynn, Noel Sturgeon, Alicia Small, Tyrone Shepherd. In custody, we have Isaiah Gibson, Joseph. All right, thank you. Joseph Montemoreno, Michaela Johnson, Dennis Martinez.
Here.
In custody, we have Edgar Aguilar, Brian Maldonado,
Here.
Annette Idrigo, George Hawkins, Michael. Yes, thank you. I'm working on your last name, I promise you. How do you say it? Ooh, okay. Leonard Johnson is in custody. Kevin Owens, thank you. Esther, how do you pronounce that? Orlando Diaz. Esther Orlando Diaz. In custody, we have Adrian Del Titterio, Robert Castillo, Jerry Torres.
You're under your cell phone.
Jesus Lopez is in custody. Justin Gamboa, custody. Tomas Hernandez. Thank you. In custody is Christopher Dela Cruz, Jose Lopez, Antonio Barrientos, Kristen Torres Lugo, Mark Reyes, Antonio Barrientos, Jose Lopez, Arturo Villanueva. Thank you. Brian Maldonado.
Yeah.
All right. And Vernon King, he doesn't need to be on the docket today, unless there was a request by the defense. All right. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. Save me from spam calls, please save me from the spam calls. All right, these are the rules of the court. Criminal Trial Division files are over here. Family violence files are here. We have Bianca, the probation officer. Do not sit on her desk. Do not place your things on her desk. That is her office. Over here, we have the court reporter, Diana. Do not sit on her desk. Do not place your items on her desk. That equipment is over $10,000. If you have a client who's in custody, ask the deputies to bring them out. Once you ask that they be brought out, please do not leave the courtroom because of security reasons. We can only have so few inmates out. If your client wishes to speak in a language other than English, yes, we do need an interpreter. So once the interpreter is called, please do not leave the courtroom because there are so few interpreters. That door there, defense attorneys, you know, that's the door where inmates come out. Do not block that area. Do not block the officer's line of sight. If something happens, it's going to be your fault if you're in their line of sight. Before approaching the court, you need to have conferred with your client and conferred with the state. Once you've done all those things and you are ready, and by ready, I mean if your client is going to speak in a language other than English, let the clerk know so that we can call down an interpreter. All right, everyone, it's Friday's Eve. We're so close to Thanksgiving. Please confer, and please over the Thanksgiving holidays, realize that the leftovers from Thanksgiving do not last forever. I was supposed to make that announcement because they've been sending it out to everyone. Don't get food poisoning. Some people think Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner is supposed to last into the new year. It does not. So everyone, please confer. Okay, James Seeloff is acting like that's the first time he's heard that.
Yes,
Have you been eating Thanksgiving for 2 weeks?
because I'm thankful all the time.
All right, everyone, please confer.
Yeah, so. For sure, he would have gotten the 10
Yes.
before he got fired that day.
Yes, you're that.
And the guy. Wasn't there a guy that had-
Oh, and when they ask me here, just tell them it's the court's fault. Don't you all claim that?
Part of his agreement to donate that money was it was your book. Yeah. Oh, no. What do you do for the next time?
And I think that.
In 10 years. Yeah.
Diana, the email we just received, you know, because they give us news emails, right? They say they're trying to discover what the boundaries are of Alamo Ranch.
Sure.
They say there's no official boundary. They said unofficially,
I thought there was.
Yeah.
A 10-year deal.
they said unofficially they're using SeaWorld as a landmark. That's what the Alamo Ranch Community Association says. They said, they said, we used to say, oh, I'm out by SeaWorld. Now they just say, oh, I'm in Alamo Ranch. Well, they say now it's between Petranco and Galm Road. Yes. Oh, and then they have Alamo Ranch proper. Now, Alamo Ranch proper, they say Westwood Loop to Tally and from Calabro, inside Calabro to Wiseman. And they're like, it's in Bexar County, not the city of San Antonio. And they said it is listed as a priority area for annexation. So I'm assuming annexation to San Antonio, not into Bexar County because it's in Bexar County. Well, they said the city was looking at an area west of Westwood Loop and Lone Star Parkway stretching south of Wiseman Boulevard to Tally Road, north to Calabria. Yeah, they said so far the city has no plans to annex Alamo Ranch, but they're looking into doing that. Who knew?
You know, special ed teachers, right?
Oh, and they said they've dubbed the far west side as being Alamo Ranch, and they're really not one and the same. They don't know that, so we need to, you know, when we're on our break for Thanksgiving, we need you to go down to Public Works and talk to the county engineer and say, no, it's not the same. Okay, I'm gonna start having us take breaks so you can go down and tell them where things are in the area.
I did not know that. I thought it was.
But I will say, I do see a lot of people when I'm driving to different events and I'm like, where are you located? They're like, oh, SeaWorld. Yeah. No, they're calling that Alamo Ranch. That's what they say, Alamo Ranch.
He's still missing. I'm gonna bring him up. Give me a second. Okay, I'll give you 1 second.
Yes. No, that's SeaWorld, according to this. But yeah, no, that's Alamo Ranch. You know, I think of Alamo Ranch as all of those where that shopping center is. Yeah. And you know what? It clearly says Alamo Ranch Parkway. That should be a hint. But they're like, no. Hi, how's it going? Good morning. So how's your day going so far? Oh, wow. And you know, nobody ever moves over to the shoulder. No. Even with the fender benders. Well, we just finished up a murder trial. Yes, that was this week. And let me see just 1 second. Yeah. We have another, I think it's a murder. Do we have another murder trial upcoming? Yes. So we have another one on the 5th. Yes. So that will start. That'll start with jury selection. And Nora thinks the other attorney is going to be Robert Porter. Yeah. So if you can, Robert Porter is a very good attorney. So he would be a good person to watch to see what's happening. Yes. And of course, I never know what the trials are about unless they have had some type of hearing for me. If they've had like a motion to suppress, otherwise, the only thing I know about the case is what the person is charged with. So I always try to tell jurors afterwards when I talk to them in the back that I'm listening to the evidence as they are just hearing it. So, yeah. Because I don't get police reports. The only time I'll see police reports or something of that nature is if the person was trying to get a bond reduction. And usually in bond reduction hearings, if the defense is trying to reduce a bond, then the rules of evidence don't apply. So you can just enter exhibits like police reports. Normally police reports don't come in, but in bond reduction cases, they do. Now, if you have a case where the state is trying to increase a bond or deny someone's bond, then the rules of evidence apply. So in that case, they can't enter police reports. They have to have the actual witnesses there because hearsay applies. And if the actual witness is there, police reports per se are hearsay because police reports are written really for the purpose of court. So that's the main reason why police reports are never entered into evidence, because they are sort of per se hearsay. And those reports, that's really the only thing I can think of right now that is per se hearsay. But anytime a report is prepared with specifically, oh, this is prepared for trial, that's an issue. And so it's usually per se hearsay. And then, of course, when you're in a jury trial, you have Crawford case where a defendant has a right to confront the witnesses against them. So that's why usually it doesn't come in. Now, when you have EMS comes out, let's say there's a shooting, and usually when there's a shooting, before EMS comes out, they want the police there because they don't want to end up getting shot or a crime committed against them. So those EMS reports,
No, you're fine.
those are not necessarily hearsay because they're out there to treat. They're not there to do an investigation and find out, hey, who shot this person or who stabbed this person. They're just trying to, those can be admitted, but you need to have the custodian of records come in, or either you can file a business records affidavit. And if you file a business records affidavit, that gets you over the hump of authentication. Yeah. Usually attorneys, solo practitioners are overworked and underpaid. The appointed counsels are. So sometimes if you don't have somebody to remind you, hey, business records affidavit, if they want something to file, that's why usually you'll see them subpoena the custodian of records to come in with the records. And then we usually have to take a break so everybody can look through the records. Because, for example, hospital records, you can have them admitted, but you still need to look through them and see if there's any hearsay. Because sometimes in sex cases, you have a hospital record. And in the hospital record, the person will say, oh, John Doe is the person who attacked me, or Jane Doe attacked me. That's not a part of a medical diagnosis. And the medical records, how they get over the hearsay objection is it's for purposes of medical diagnosis. And so you need to read through it and make sure everything in there is for the purposes of medical diagnosis and not identification, those type of things. And with those, you have to go over in a fine-tooth comb, because sometimes what's in there is buried somewhere, because you can get tired of looking at medical records, because usually, let's say somebody goes to the hospital and they've been shot, those medical records can be about 2,000, 3,000 pages long. And some of those medical records are them just checking on the patient each day, because they have to keep notation. Checked on a patient, this is the blood pressure level, this is that. So you just have to make sure you look over everything. Oh, it is. But people will always say, oh, it's not hearsay because it's for purposes of medical diagnosis. But there still may be some hearsay in there that doesn't get you over that hump. And that's the one, I would say, I always tell people the rules of evidence, read them at least once a month, just so you can stay on top of them, because the rules of evidence rarely changes. So just read that and make sure you know the hearsay forwards and backwards, because a lot of times the evidence you have is hearsay. And it really starts getting dicey when people say it's not for the truth of the matter asserted. Because hearsay is really just a statement made outside the court, you know, when people are not sworn in, and it's offered for the truth of the matter asserted. So sometimes when people can't get into hearsay, can't get over the hearsay requirement, there's no exception. They will say, oh, it's not hearsay because I'm not offering it for the truth of the matter asserted. So if ever that happens to you, if you're a prosecutor or if you're a defense attorney and you don't want it in because it's bad for you, but they're saying it's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted, your question to them in front of the judge should be, then what are they offering it for? Because usually it is offered for the truth of the matter asserted. Because if it's not offered for the truth of the matter asserted, then you can always say, well, it's irrelevant, because we're on a fact, the jury's supposed to be on that fact-finding mission. But once somebody says they're not offering it for the truth of the matter asserted, then every document that's hearsay, you know what people start saying? Oh, I'm not offering it for the truth of the matter asserted. And if nobody objects to that and nobody says anything, then the judge is stuck like, okay, you know. All right, who's here for Tomas Hernandez? All right, Tomas Hernandez, if you come forward. And everyone, if you'll please whisper.
You're right to the right. He's in the middle.
Hello. Hi. So you have all the discovery?
We've conferred as well, Your Honor.
All right, you have an offer?
Not yet. The state is going to be looking at some issues that I brought up with them to discuss. It's going to require the viewing of some videos and things like that.
All right. Can you reset this case? And let's put it for December, the week of December 18th. But the 19th is our cutoff date. And then after that, it's Christmas time.
It sure is. It'll be here before we know it.
Oh, yeah. I still think of Charlie Brown. That song starts playing in my head. You know, Christmas time is here. Yes. All right. So they'll give you a reset form for December 19th. On December 19th, you need to make sure you're here exactly at 9 because we're cutting off exactly at 12. You understand? All right. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And state on December 19th, will you be prepared to make an offer?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe ahead of time we'll talk.
So anyway, the life of a defense attorney. So during the holiday season, say for example, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you have a lot of people who want to be out of custody. So during that time period, usually people will have money to bond their relatives up. And so it gets very busy, very hectic with everybody trying to do everything before the holidays. And the reason why people usually have more money to bond people out at that time is because it's tax season, right? And a lot of people in December, you know how you get the early tax bond return or whatever? Usually that's what they do. Yeah. And then the other thing that happens a lot, if you'll notice, because of COVID and everything that has happened, defense attorneys are in trial back to back to back to back to back to back. And it's unheard of, but the attorney who was trying the case in here, I think that was his 20th trial. And usually defense attorneys don't have 20 trials in a year. Because when you think about it, that means you're close to trying a trial a week, which is hard. So that usually never happens. So whenever you see somebody on the campaign trail and they say, oh, I've tried 1,000 cases, you're like, yeah, no, that's not true. The public doesn't know that's not true. But in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, that means that you never did any work in the office. That means you never looked at any of your case files because your history is not such that you could have done 1,000 trials, unless you're trying to talk about bench trials. Because on the civil side, for child protective services cases, a lot of those turn into bench trials. Because over there, the difference here on the civil side, you actually have to request a jury trial. It's not automatic. And here, the defense attorney doesn't have to file, defense attorney doesn't have to file a motion to say, oh, I'm requesting a jury trial. But you have to on the civil side, and you only have so many days before to do it. And if you don't do it, then you don't get a jury trial. Even if your client is like, please, may I have a jury trial? The probably is if an attorney falls on their sword and say, Judge, I was wrong. And this is going to be ineffective assistance of counsel because my client has always wanted a jury trial. Usually that never happens. A lot of times in child protective services cases, what ends up happening is you will have represent a parent who maybe never showed up to court. Nobody could ever find them, or either they showed up for one hearing and then they just disappeared off the face of their. Yeah, that happens a lot. All right, are you all ready on George Wilkins?
That's me, Judge.
Oh, sorry. Are we ready on his case? You're ready? All right, it is Larry Berry. Are you all ready?
We're ready.
All right, Mr. Berry, if you'll come forward.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Oh.
And counsel, you're on the other side. All right, this is sentencing. And who is for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
All right, let me call the case. The court is calling 2023 CR 3443, State of Texas versus Larry Everett Berry. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Canton Longacre for Mr. Barry.
All right, and are you Mr. Berry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're here for sentencing. Oh, this is taking a while. He entered a plea on July 10th. Okay, I see why it was taking a while. Your attorney was unable to appear, and then we had to have a mental health evaluation to be completed.
That has occurred, Judge.
All right. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report state?
I did at the previous setting, Judge, and I believe, is it 16 months opposed? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right. Have you reviewed the PSI report?
We have to.
Any objections to the PSI report state?
No
No, Your
objection,
Honor.
Your Honor.
Defense, any objection?
No.
All right. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 16 months in the state jail facility. There's a $2,000 fine. The state opposes your application, and there's to be restitution for drug testing. State, you're opposed. Do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
No, Judge, none other than Mr. Barry. He'd like to say a few words to.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Defense, you want to step back, please?
Shall I make a note?
That's okay. All right. Can you state your name for the record?
Larry Everett Berry.
All right. Do you want to ask your client questions?
A few, Mr. Barry. Excuse me, Mr. Barry, on paper, you don't look like a good candidate for probation. Can you tell the judge why now, today, you are a good candidate for probation?
Everyone, please whisper, or either you cannot talk.
Yes, I would like to have probation to change my life. I got a job. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm staying out of trouble. I'm not out there doing nothing to society, anything. I'm just trying to be a better man to my kids and all that. And my son's birthday this Saturday, and I'm trying to get this opportunity to just do right.
Do you understand, we went over it from the report. You understand that the recommendation is some mental health treatment that could run about 120 to 180 days.
Yes, sir.
And you want that mental health treatment?
Yes,
You
sir.
want to get your mental health issues resolved finally?
Yes, sir.
How about the chemical dependency end of it, the alcohol and drugs? Do you want to get that issue resolved?
Yes,
fully
sir.
and finalized?
Yes, sir.
So. And you do have a job now.
Yes, sir.
Who do you work for?
I
sir?
work for Sam's Burger Joint. I'm a cook there.
I understand. Anything further you want to add to the judge?
I hope I get the opportunity to get probation to get all the help I can through what I've been through and everything else.
Is it fair to say that what you've been through legally has been your responsibility? I mean, you caused it.
Yes, sir.
Agreed?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Berry, my name is Hank Wilkins. I'm a prosecutor here. I just have a few questions, and you don't understand anything, hey, I don't understand that. I'll try and phrase it a different way.
Okay.
But you've been on probation before, right?
No,
You weren't on probation for theft in 2010.
I'll remember, I probably have, but
All right, you want to show him his criminal history?
Yes, sir. So this is on page 2 of the TAP evaluation here. Did you go over this with your attorney, maybe the lag setting?
yes,
So on page 2 here, this is in January of 2010, you got this theft. Granted 6 months probation, and then it was revoked a couple of months later. Do you remember that?
no,
Okay. And then so that's a misdemeanor. But then, do you recall in 2016, you were on probation for a felony assault family second offense? Do you remember this one?
mhm,
You don't? Okay. So you were granted 3 years deferred in 2017, and then you were revoked later in 2017. Do you remember that?
no, so,
Okay. I believe there was another one out of state. Do you remember ever being on probation in Ohio?
I think so, I believe so, but I ain't been back in Hawaii for years.
Okay, so it looks like you were granted 2 years of probation on a felony receiving stolen property in 2000. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
No, sir. Okay. Well, sir, it looks like you were revoked in 2002 for that. Do you remember that?
No,
No, sir. Okay. Looks like you had a domestic violence in 2003 that you got a year probation on. Do you remember that?
no, none of that.
Do you remember being, your probation was terminated later in 2004? No, sir. Okay.
And you're back home, God know who.
So can you tell the judge why, if you're given the opportunity this time, it's gonna be different?
Yeah, if I get the opportunity to get probation this time, everything will be totally different. I'm a working person. I don't sell drugs. I don't do anything anymore. I'm more of a family man.
Okay, here's the thing. Don't do that thing about, I don't sell drugs, I don't belong to a gang. You know why?
Why?
Because I don't do drugs, I don't sell drugs, I don't belong to a gang. Half the people who are in here, well, I won't say half, I'd say a third. Like your attorney doesn't do drugs, sell drugs, or belong to a gang. So don't do that like you want a cookie for being a law-abiding citizen. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the state asks you about your criminal history. Do you remember going to prison?
Here in San Antonio.
No, just prison, period.
Yeah, I've been there. Back
All right, so why are you pretending like you don't know about this stuff?
Because I don't know about the probation. I ain't never, in Ohio, I don't know. I just always been locked up.
No. There's an assault case here where you were on deferred adjudication and it got revoked and you went to prison. Are you trying to tell the court that you don't remember that?
I can't remember because I was homeless at the time. I jumped from, I ain't had no place to stay.
No. But people will remember going before a judge and a judge saying, I'm no longer going to keep you on probation. I'm sending you to prison. You're telling me that you don't remember that.
No, because
That's odd.
I mean, I've been going through it like a hard time at the time. I actually don't really have no family here but my kids. I'm the only kid down here from Cincinnati. With my mom.
No. You're jumping over talking about different things that I'm not talking about right now. We'll get to your children. You have been to the state jail facility before. You've been to prison before, and you're making it seem like you don't remember any of this. Counsel, you want to step back and talk to him and see if he remembers his criminal history?
Judge, we have talked about it, but we've also talked about his mental health conditions, unresolved mental health conditions. Which include bipolar and major depression.
I mean, you
As
can be
well as his
majorly.
chemical dependency history. He's been under the influence a lot of the time during a lot of his life.
All right, you can be bipolar, but you know if you've been to prison before. You can be depressed, but I think you know if you've been to prison before. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me and say, Judge, you're wrong. People who have been majorly depressed don't remember going to prison. People who are bipolar don't remember going to prison. People who are the only person in a particular state or city with no family members don't remember going to prison, because he's just told the prosecutor, and if I'm wrong, let me know. He's just told the prosecutor he doesn't remember any of these charges.
I understood him to tell the prosecutor that he didn't remember the probation revocations, which he and I talked about. And I made a point of saying, you've not done well on probation before on a number of occasions. Why is it gonna be different? Why in the world would this judge do anything different? But he acknowledged that to me, that he recalled the state jail incarceration as well as the TDC.
All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results gonna be?
It will be dirty. Not even lie.
Dirty for what?
Marijuana
And what else?
and alcohol and I've been partying, yeah,
Oh, what else? You say alcohol and I've been partying. So what else are you gonna be dirty for?
okay.
All right. And how often are you using cocaine?
Nah, not that much. It was like when I go to parties.
All right. Why are you going to parties and you're supposed to be so concerned about your children?
It was like football season and all that stuff. I go to places like that because I don't have cable at the home. I go to like friends' houses and all that.
And do drugs?
I don't choose to, but it just if it's there, like we just when we win, because I'm a Cincinnati Bengal fan. Like when we win, it just slang way like.
Well, that's rare because Cincinnati Bengals rarely win.
Yeah, but it just that's my team. Just
No, I
slang.
understand. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further from us, Judge.
All right. You're going into custody today. This is what's going to end up happening. You can either go to the state jail facility or either you can go to inpatient treatment. Felony drug court, if they have a place available for you, then you will be at felony drug court. So do you prefer to go to the state jail facility, do your time of 18 months, or would you like treatment?
Treatment.
Okay.
Judge, if I may, excuse me.
Hmm?
Yeah, because the recommendation is not.
Judge, Mr. Barry has already been evaluated for felony drug court. It does look like as of July 25th, 2023, he did meet criteria. However, he needed to be re-referred if he was granted supervision.
Yes. So that's what we will do, but he's going into custody today. And I know you may think it's wrong of me to put you in custody today, but guess what? Saturday is upon us. Thanksgiving is upon us. And everybody knows Thanksgiving, I grew up Thanksgiving watching the Cowboys play and shelling pecans. But those are just breeding grounds for you to go to somebody's house and end up doing drugs. And guess what? The last time you do drugs may be the last time you do drugs. And your family members who are in Cincinnati or wherever they may be will have to come down and identify your body, or either your children will have to identify your body. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to give you a chance. It's completely up to you what you do with it. And there was an application just for regular probation. So the court will sentence you to 16 months in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's to be a referral to felony drug court, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be a referral to felony drug court. If not accepted, then he'll go to SATF. If SATF is not available, then it will be ISF, substantive abuse track. Substance abuse track, sorry. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the 200 hours of community service restitution will be deemed to be satisfied. There's to be restitution to BCSO for drug testing. And let me see if we have an amount for that. State, do we have an amount for the drug testing?
It's usually $57, Judge.
But do we?
think that's sort of what the standard. 57 for either SAPD or BCSO.
All right, we'll do restitution to BCSO for drug testing if submitted. And that needs to be submitted no later than December 18th, whatever their restitution is. Counsel, if there's an issue with their restitution amount, just let the court know.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to want field visits one time per month upon release. And that will be for 4 months. And then it can be at probation's discretion. Who are your children with now?
With their mama.
Okay. And is there child protective services involved? Okay. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor. He's pretty severe for ERS. I'm not sure if his mental health issues will, disqualify him from status if drug court is not.
All right, then.
Excuse me, Judge, I had a question in that regard too. I understood you to say status first, and if.
No, felony drug court first.
I'm sorry, felony drug court first, have rejected their status. If rejected there, then the dual diagnosis.
No, then ISF. Since I know SATF will reject him then for the mental health, remove SATF from my order, and we'll try with ISF substance abuse track, and then if not, DDRF. And the reason why I'm doing that is because what is the wait time for DDRF?
Or it just depends on if the individual is stable on medication.
All right. So we'll try referral to felony drug court first. And then if you can try ISF substantive track and DDRF. And they will let you know what the wait time is for DDRF and what the wait time is for ISF substantive abuse track. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. If you have you reviewed that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. So you have a drug problem. That's clear to the court. You have mental health problems. I do not know if your drug problem is caused by your mental health or not, but they'll be able to diagnose that for you once you're in the program. Do not be that person who gets a chance and then you continue to use. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I got sick when I was in the prison. I got lung cancer.
Okay.
I spit up blood every day.
Okay.
I'm trying to get help for that, but they want me. I ain't got no insurance. I just filed for Social Security. I got
Okay, so
grant.
here's the thing. I understand and I appreciate what you're telling me about your issues. One, I don't have any medical documentation of that. And two, how do you think your lung cancer is going with you using cocaine? And are you using cocaine by snorting it, inhaling it?
I snorted,
That's probably not good for your lungs. Do you understand?
but I filed for Social Security. I just got my papers back. So hopefully I get granted or I could get insurance to get the help, but they won't pay $3 grand for the surgery.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck to you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry Torres.
Maybe excuse Judge.
Yes. Jerry Torres.
He was waiting for me outside. I apologize, Judge.
No problem. Hello. So where are we on this case? And where's Mr. Torres come up?
Yes, it's coming up, Judge.
All right. So where are we on this case with discovery?
I don't know, Judge. I'm usually better at this, but I was prepping for a motion to suppress that said today.
All right.
I apologize.
Oh, no problem. Can I have a 1 month reset? All right, so we're going to come back on December 18th. At that time, you all need to make sure that all discovery is done. And states you need to be prepared to tender an offer. Will you be prepared to do that?
He did, Judge.
Okay, all right, awesome. All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Thank you.
Thank
Your Honor.
you.
Have a great day.
You too. Oh, you too. So that last case was a possession less than a gram case, which some people argue that that should be a misdemeanor, but the law says it's a state jail felony. So the range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility. Both parties agreed that if I were not to give him probation, then I would sentence him to 16 months at the state jail facility. That's a case. It's not a violent offense. So the question becomes, if I send him to the state jail facility for 16 months, when he comes out, he's still going to have mental health issues. He's still going to have drug issues. And then I will have just released back into society somebody who has drug issues, somebody who has mental health issues, and they're not taking care of it. So this is me giving him a chance and hopefully protecting society and getting him help with his drugs, getting him help with his mental health, and hopefully being a better parent to his children. Because honestly, you can't be a good parent to your child and then using drugs as much as he's using drugs. So we try. And a lot of times people don't understand. A lot of these cases, when you send people to prison, they're going to get out. Because a majority of the cases are drug cases, and it's not a case where, oh, somebody's getting life in prison without parole. The only cases that one of the cases that you do life without parole is your capital cases that are non-death. And then you do have your continuous sexual abuse of a child cases. Those are cases where you do day for day time, and they start at a minimum of 25. So if you get 25 years, you're doing it 25 years. But sometimes people don't realize when you send people to prison, you're just pushing the problem down the line and making it somebody else's problem. Now, there are some people who go to jail. I've had clients who went to prison, and when they came out, and to this day, they still contact me. But they went to prison, they got out, and they changed their life. And there's been some people in this court that I've sentenced not to prison, but I gave them probation, and I will go to an event. Like I went to the veterans event, and one of the people who was in this court on probation, I saw them, they're doing great now. And they were saying at the time, I was like, who does this lady think she is, telling me I need to do parenting classes or telling me I can't have unsupervised contact? And now they have contact back with their children. And they told me, I did what you said. I didn't come stepping up in there like I own the place and I've been here always. They're like, I slowly built back the trust up with my children. Yeah. So they're doing great. But the problem is when you, in the United States, when you have a felony conviction, it's hard to get housing regardless of what the charge is, especially the sex charge. But it's hard to get housing. And then usually you have to end up buying your place because nobody wants you at apartment complexes. And then usually it's hard to get employment. So a lot of times they actually end up opening up their own business. So this person's like, I open up my own business. And so their business is doing well and it's a legitimate business. Mm-hmm. No, what ends up happening is probation may file a motion to revoke, or either I do compliance hearings and they'll come in for compliance hearings and I'll say, hey, why don't you have employment? What's going on? And then probation, though, they're good. They will usually recommend a place that will take people who have felony conviction. Because there are certain places that specifically want to take people who have convictions. Yes. and they do great work. All right, who's here on Atwan Lin?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
All right, where's Atwan
He's
Lin?
in custody, Your Honor. Do you
All
want
right.
to be brought in there?
If he'll come forward. And have you all conferred with,
I conferred with AJ Garahan, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Judge, on this case, one of the issues that Mr.
all right, everyone, please whisper.
One of the issues that Mr. Lynn is facing, Judge, is he is homeless. He was put on deferred probation. I want to keep that deferred status without a conviction. Mr. Lynn's homeless. That's why he didn't report to his first.
Okay, so we need to, are you all ready to have your hearing? That's my,
No, I want to see if we can ask the court respectfully to reset this, let him do an in-custody TAF evaluation. So we have a good picture of his overall situation. And if we can do that, Your Honor, that'd be great.
all right, could I see the prosecutor on Atwan Lin?
Judge, it's Mr. Garahan. He's on the phone.
Okay,
So.
all right, so, all right, so I can go forward without a TAP evaluation because this isn't, I'm looking at the allegations in the motion.
Judge.
We can move without a TAP.
Well, Mr. Lynn's homeless, Judge, and we're sort of going into this vicious circle of, he's not able to report. If he does.
Oh, we can solve that problem.
Pardon me?
We can solve that problem.
Well, I don't want to end up with a conviction, Judge.
We can solve the problem.
Okay, let me have him sit down and then we'll do that.
All right, thank you.
When I see. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, is the interpreter here on this case? Yes. All right, on this one, we need the interpreter, and once the interpreter is called, I'll take it up. Sure.
You got the age and I get the. Yes.
All right, I'll consider it.
Okay, yes, Judge. I just
All
wanted to
right.
let you know.
All right, thank you. Michaela Johnson, yes.
So I got two friends.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So why were you late for court?
We were on the elevator.
All right, so here's the thing. You cannot be late for court.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're late for court, you know what ends up happening?
For one.
Yes, so we could hear your cases. The deputies will make sure you're here on time because they'll be bringing you over from the Bear County Jail and we will know where you are. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, I think we're at the plea deadline and Judge, so in talking with defense, they made a counter. We have been, I just texted our victim advocate asking her to reach out to the complainants. I know that we had difficulty in contacting them, not in that fact that they didn't respond. It was more just timing.
Mhm.
So it's something that if we have a full reset, just because this may be something that they're okay with.
All right. Let me see here.
Early December would be my preference, Your Honor. Not that you're asking, but
All right. Will you know the answer by December 4th?
Yes, Judge, and I'm texting my victim advocate now that she's gonna try and see if she can start reaching out to them. So it may be relatively quick.
Okay, and let me see what's happening. All right. Could you place this case on December 4th?
and Judge, if we were able to work it out, would that be a date we could also enter
Yes.
resolution?
All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Judge.
All right, thank you. And that's on Michaela Johnson.
I get an answer. Thanks.
Michael Ugui. Ugu. I keep mispronouncing it. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, so where are we on this case? There were some discovery issues involving the cab company.
Judge, I got a call back from the cab company. They didn't have anything that was impacted.
All right, so they don't have anything.
That's my understanding, Judge, yes.
Any other discovery issues?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, so I need an acknowledgement of discovery signed today.
Okay.
And has an offer been tendered?
Judge, I haven't had a chance to, I think all we did was speak about the discovery very briefly.
All right,
Pretty sure I may have already made an offer.
all right. And are you a citizen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to set this for a plea deadline date. And can we put this on December 18th as well?
Judge,
Alright.
if we could do the month afterwards, and I've been a little bit busy lately, and I'm gonna be busy for a while. My mother passed away Sunday.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
I appreciate that. Just
Okay,
a bunch of people out of town in and out of arrangements and such.
all right. All right, can you put this on January 3rd? All right, so we'll be back on January 3rd. Is that all right?
Okay, appreciate it. January, so it's a plea deadline, Judge?
Yes, are you okay with that date? Or do you need it later?
The week after. would be a
Okay.
little bit
No,
better.
no
And I
problem.
apologize, Judge, it's just-
No, I understand. Put it for January 11th then.
that should be fine. Thank you.
All right. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. It's been with me the last year. So
Yeah. So,
thank
well,
you.
you have my prayers and my mom's prayers.
Thank you. Judge.
All right. So once he signs the reset form, he's excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And don't forget to take care of yourself. Because I mean, I know, but when you're dealing with that, you forget to take care of yourself. And sometimes you need to decompress. Yeah. If you need anything, just let me know. Okay. Dennis Martinez.
He's present and ready.
All right, on this case, and counsel, you're on this side.
I'm sorry, Judge.
That's okay. Breath discovery.
Yes, Judge, we did get that evidence in last week, and so we're in the process of trying to review that discovery, Judge.
Who's the prosecutor you're conferring with?
Daniel,
Has an offer been tendered?
Yes.
All right. All right, I'm gonna give you a plea deadline date. Can you set this for December 14th for a plea deadline date?
Judge, is there any way we could get into the new year, because we're also in the process of trying to get some documentation from Mr. Martinez's position to present to the court and to the district attorney's
All right,
office.
we'll see where we are on December 14th.
Okay, Judge.
All right, so your plea deadline is going to be December 14th. If there's good cause for me to extend that, I will.
I appreciate that, Judge. We're just trying to get that evidence put together.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you
Once
very-
it's signed, you're excused.
Thank you very much, Ron. We
Thank you,
appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
Judge,
Yes,
if I could address only one issue.
yes.
Mr. Martinez is a partner in a particular company that they're doing a presentation in Las Vegas for the funding of certain monies that are being done for nonprofit organizations.
Mhm.
And he's asking permission to be able to attend that.
You'll have to talk with the state about that and see if they have any objections.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Maldonado. Hi. Who's the attorney for Brian Maldonado? I am so sorry. They requested the interpreter and then they left. Let me just see who that attorney is.
Okay, gotcha.
Where's Alberto Garcia? All right, I'm sorry about that. You can be excused and we'll call you back when we need you and make sure the attorney does not leave.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. They're not ready on that one. Antoine Lynn.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lynn, if you'll come down. And did you get a chance to confer with the state and with probation?
I did, Judge.
Okay.
So.
Where's the prosecutor on Antoine Lynn? Court is calling 2022 CR 7683, State of Texas versus Antoine Lynn. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Amir Memorial, Your Honor.
And are you Antoine Lynn?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review those with your attorney and did you understand them?
Yes.
Are you the same Antoine Lynn who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 7683 for the offense of unauthorized use of a vehicle on October 20th, 2022 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violating condition number 1 on or about the 18th day of October 2023 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant Antoine Lynn committed the offense of criminal trespass in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
The criminal behavior remaining violating conditions.
Any objections? Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
The state is actually going to take into consideration cause number 719722, the criminal trespass that.
Wait, 719?
I'm sorry, 719722.
Okay.
That's a criminal trespass that he just been true to responsibility, and the state's requesting revocation, Your Honor.
All right. In defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're requesting, thank you. We're requesting that Mr.
Jason.
Lynn be given a TAP evaluation, so we have a better picture overall. Otherwise, Judge, we respectfully ask the court to review him and put him on the intensive outpatient program. He is homeless, Judge. That's a big issue for Mr. Lynn. He has very little income, so that as far as paying any fines or for UAs, that's extremely difficult for him. We're virtually impossible. So we respectfully ask the court to continue on this deferred status, Judge, and I will defer to the court's experience on what you think is best.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Antoine Lynn.
All right, Mr. Lynn, are you homeless?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been homeless?
2 years.
All right, why are you homeless?
Because I don't have no family here and I'm not from San Antonio.
Where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, what brings you to San Antonio?
I met this lady like 2 years ago online. Everything was going all right till I just don't agree to certain things.
All right, it's difficult when you meet people online and you're traveling to different states. You understand?
Yes.
So are your parents still alive?
Yes, ma'am.
Do they want you back with them?
Yes.
All right, do you want to go back to Georgia?
Yes, but I want to do my 2 years here. I'm trying to do something right before I won't have no warrants when I go home. So,
Well, I mean, we could see about transferring your probation to Georgia where you actually have support there. So if your parents want you back there and you have a place to stay, that may be the best thing for you. Do you understand? Your mom wants you there? So-
Last time I talked to her, she said you need to get that charge over and come home.
Okay. And have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues?
Yes, I'm bipolar schizophrenic. One moment I'm up and the next moment I'm down. I take medicine for 3 years.
Okay,
Been on it all my life.
okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Lynn also has a MTR, ABI family violence pending in court 13 also, so please consider that, Judge.
Okay. And is that going to be taken care of today?
If they take them over there today, Judge.
All right. So will community court help him, or are they only for pretrial diversions? They now have community court for homeless people.
I can check with Judge Vedder on that next door if you want me to, Judge.
All right, here's the thing. I can revoke you. I tell you what, I'm going to give you a choice. Normally, I can't give people choices. It appears to me that you have mental health issues. You have a case that's pending out of another court. You're homeless. You should go back to Georgia because maybe your mom will accept you back there. And at least you'll have a place to stay, a warm bed to sleep in. And they could probably get him, although I know he's currently on his meds at the jail probably, but they could probably get him stabilized further out there and he'd have a support system and we won't have these criminal trespass cases. So what I could do is I could grant the motion, revoke you and sentence you under 1244, or I can extend you, which I'd extend you for 2 years and then transfer you to Georgia. And if Georgia doesn't accept you, I'll ask that you be referred to the community court and they can help you with mental health issues. They can help you with housing. So those are the options the court has available to it.
Judge, I would ask the court not to revoke him and see if we can transfer this to Georgia and give Mr. Lynn the opportunity. He's only 38 years old, Judge. And with a felony conviction, that would just, at some point, I think he'll get on the right track and move on with his life in a felony conviction.
All right, what county is that in Georgia?
Fulton County.
Probation. Does he need to be out of custody to start the request for transfer to Fulton County?
Yes, Judge, he does. He will have to stay here until it's approved. So what I would typically do is just make sure that we have STIPs, victim contact, with anything that we need to present to ICOTS. And I can let the manager know now. I just don't know if they'll initiate the transfer until we make contact with you.
Let me ask you this. Is there any way we can do a travel permit?
No, so we generally tell them not to leave, just because they do have to be given permission to proceed to the next state. And so a travel permit would not be allowed because if they reject it, he has to come back. And if they don't, ICOPS requires us to issue a warrant.
Well, there could be, what I'm thinking, there could be a travel permit for a specific amount of time. Are we able to do that or no?
No, Judge. So per the ICOPS rules, they can only have a 7-day travel permit.
And it's going to take longer than the 7 days?
It can take up to 45 days. And so we can't permit for him to leave. A lot of times if they do leave during the transfer process through ICOPS, they'll actually reject the case.
All right. So I thought it could be accomplished within the 7 days and they're telling me it can't be. So this is what I'll do. I'll deny the motion, take in consideration 719-722, extend for 2 years. We'll do a referral to community court and a transfer to Fulton County, Georgia. This is what I'm going to do though. I want him to remain in custody until he's accepted in community court. If for some reason he's not accepted in community court, then we'll bring him back here before he's released. All right?
Fair enough, Judge.
Is there anything else you need from the court? All right, so what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna remain in custody. They're gonna evaluate you for community court. I'm unsure if community court only does pretrial diversions. I don't know, because that's a new court that's just been enacted fairly recently.
I do got a question.
So you're gonna remain in custody. If community court does not accept you, then we will bring you back here. And probation also for this, it sounds like there should be a DDRF. There should be like a MIC eval for him. At least a MIC eval.
Was not completed. Take a look at that. Something that was covered over to me. Not we can add that as well.
All right, and what we'll do so that we'll know where you are, we'll do the MIC eval while in custody and the TAP evaluation while in custody. And then hopefully by that time you will have been accepted in the community court. And then once you're accepted in the community court, you'll have a place to stay. And then perhaps you can get transferred to Fulton County. Do you understand? All right, is there anything else?
No, no, Judge.
All right, thank you.
We'll be in touch, okay?
Yes. What case is this? All right, you need to have them pull the file. Yeah.
On what?
Pio Quinto Leon. Pio Quinto Leon.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
So just,
You're on this side. Yes. What is happening with this case?
we worked everything out, Your Honor, but some paperwork needs to be generated if we could just come back this afternoon.
No, you all need to do the paperwork now. Nobody wants to come back this afternoon.
I'm working on it right now, Judge.
All right. Okay. Thanks. We'll come back in the afternoon if we have to, but we're trying not to.
Gotcha.
All right. Robert Castillo.
Right, Judge.
Hello. So who's the prosecutor? Hi.
Daniel's working with me on this.
All right. So have you received all the discovery or no?
I have not.
Okay.
I pulled the file this morning and there were some additional things that were in there from Tesla and some other things. And so I've got to download that. And take
All
a
right.
look
What
at it.
discovery do you need that's maybe not uploaded?
It looks like the data from the Tesla. It looks like there's some video also that I need to get. And then there was also a autopsy report and photographs as well. I'm pretty sure it's probably in the DA's download packet, but yeah, I've got to download it.
So you say autopsy and what else?
It looks like photographs.
Photographs. All right. Can I have a 1 month reset on Robert Castillo, please? All right, December 14th, once you sign the reset form, you are excused.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that's a reset for discovery. And on this one, they're working on paperwork. Who's here? Matthew Dotson? All right. And where's Mr. Dotson?
He's in the middle of the box.
All right.
Excuse me, Attorney. Go.
Mr. Woodard, it's been a while since I've seen you.
Well, since I've been here, Judge.
Are you hiding out from the 187th or just hiding out from me?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, court is calling 2020 CR 10474B, State of Texas versus Matthew Dotson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
David Andre Woodard for Mr. Dotson.
Are you Matthew Dotson?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. And First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Matthew Dotson who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 10474B for the offense of aggravated kidnapping on September 8, 2021 for a period of 10 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violating condition number 1, on or about the 11th day of October 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Matthew Dotson committed the offense of evade, arrest, or detention in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
We'll waive the remaining violated convictions.
Any objections to the waivers?
No objections, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court would find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there's not.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
State's requesting revocation. We're taking into consideration cause number 719241, evading arrest and detention.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking the court to follow probation's recommendation. It appears probation still wants to work with Mr. Dotson. They're recommending that he attend the local ISF, followed by ISP placement for full 12 months. I've talked to Mr. Dotson about that. He is in agreement with it if the court would consider allowing him to go into local ISF. He realized there's some issues that he still needs to deal with to make him successful while on probation. So we're asking the court to deny the motion to adjudicate and alternate amendment conditions for local ISF.
What's his criminal history? Because I don't have the report that contains that.
Judge here in Bexar County, looks like he has. This has this evading arrest, this act kidnapping, and he had a theft that wasn't indicted back in 2017.
All right, this is not his first motion to revoke, is that correct?
It's not, Judge. From my understanding, it's possibly his second. I know I represented him on the first motion to revoke. And in that motion to revoke, we had an agreement with the prosecution. There was a visiting judge present at the time.
Yes.
He was revoked and given 10 years, and we filed a motion to reconsider. This court placed him back on deferred, and now we're in front of the court again this morning.
All right. So I don't know if your client wants to address the issue. Why should I continue him when, as you stated before, another judge had revoked him, sentenced him to 10 years? And I'm assuming the reason why I went back and continued him on deferred is because the state and the defense came to the court and said, hey, we had an agreement. We were not expecting the 10 years in the prison. It appears that maybe if he would have been given the 10 years of prison, we would not have this evading. So I don't understand why I should continue him, because in the first place, he's on deferred for a first-degree felony, which is aggravated kidnapping. And then he picks up an evading arrest. I don't understand why I should continue him. Here's that he has done nothing. What has he done on probation?
I believe in speaking with Mr. Dotson, Judge, he was employed. I don't know if the court wishes to inquire and ask him about that employment, but he was employed while he was on probation.
All right. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Matthew Dodson.
All right, what have you done since you've been on probation?
I have worked the entire time. The first month I got off, and when I got out, I did not work. I admitted to my probation that I had messed up because when I got out, I didn't have everything set up like it was supposed to. Like I wasn't a place that had a living situation was out of the question because my brother he just got out and he's a felon. I couldn't stay at my mom's. That was one of the places I was supposed to stay. My job, I did not have no transportation to get to my job that I got out with. But right a month right after that, literally.
Wait a minute, what's wrong with a via bus? I don't understand why people.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't understand why people have an issue with via bus. I rode the via bus.
I had no problem riding the via bus, ma'am. It was
Which is great for defense attorneys. I was a new defense attorney. I rode the via bus. I picked up many a client while I was on the via bus. So
I literally had no problem with the via bus, ma'am. Like I said, I didn't have no place to stay right when I got out. Literally, I was trying my best. So I took it upon myself to go back to where I was living at, which wasn't a good idea. That's when I told my probation officer that, hey, look, I admit it. I used, and it wasn't good. It wasn't gonna come out clean. Literally a week after that, you came up in my head, really, to be honest. You came in my head because I heard, say, if you want to continue this, you're gonna go to prison if you continue this, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay, I stopped using, I started working right after that. And I've been working ever since then, day and night. Got a place to stay with my boss. He has an apartment there. He's got a place to stay and I've been working ever since then. And my probation officer called me and told me, hey, if I get the courts to throw away the warrant, can you come in and sign a paper? Yes, sir. I gave him my address. I gave him the place where I worked. He knew where I was working at. The evading arrest, ma'am, literally when the cops came, I was fighting with one of my spouses and I went to go grab
Wait a minute, what do you mean you were fighting with one of your spouses? How many spouses do you have?
I have just one, but what I'm saying, my bad, I apologize. I was fighting with my spouse. And I went to go grab my backpack from the backyard, literally jogged, and the officer told me to stop, freeze, and I did, and I went to the ground. I didn't run. I didn't do any of that.
Well, I mean, you just pled true to
I know,
evading.
I understand, but what I'm saying, when I jogged to the backyard to grab, so I went to go to jail with my property, and I wasn't able to. I'm just giving you the honest truth of what happened. So when they gave me, I know I just pled to.
No. So you're telling me in a roundabout way that you have done nothing on probation except have employment.
Yes, ma'am.
And honestly, employment
drugs
is what everybody else has.
Right.
And you say you stopped doing drugs, and I'm not considering it, counsel, but we have a lot of positive tests in here, allegedly. Probation, what are you asking for on Mr. Dotson?
So in reviewing, it looks like the officer is asking for Mr. Dotson to attend local ISF followed by ISP placement for full 12 months, bi-weekly UAs for 60 days, weekly sober support meetings, GPS held in abeyance, and a drug offender education program.
All right, here are your choices. I will send him to the prison for the 6 years, or either you're not going to ISF, you will be going to safety. Those are your choices. And when you are released from safety, you're going to be on GPS. And if you come back here again, if you choose to go to safety and be on full GPS, when you come back here again, if you come back for a motion to revoke, you'll be looking at the full range of punishment. You know yourself better than I know you, better than the attorney, better than the probation knows you. But what I'm telling you is, if you come back here for a motion to revoke, the full range of punishment is available to the court up to 99 years or life. And the state may be asking for such. So you can either do 6 years, you do your 6 years, you will be done. You will no longer be on probation. They will release you when they release you. Because of the nature of the offense, you'll have to do half your time before you are released, which would be 3 calendar years before you're released. You'll get credit for any time that you've been in custody towards those 3 years. But either way, you're not leaving the jail for some time soon, for any time soon, excuse me.
Safety.
All right. I'll deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions to include safety. And there's to be full GPS upon release from safety. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And probation, once he's released from safety, if you all want to approach the court about the full GPS and making it partial for work or partial for him to complete the aftercare, let the court know. All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We're off the record, Mr. Dotson. From here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself whether this could result in you going to prison, for potentially life. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's here on Jose Roberto Lopez?
I am, Your Honor.
Lopez.
I'm sorry, can I have the file back on Dotson? Just one moment. There's something else I need to add in there. All right, thank you. Just one moment. All right, where are we on Mr. Lopez?
Judge, first setting, got discovery acknowledgements entered. We have discovery that the state has made an offer.
All right, and then with the discovery acknowledgement, he actually has 3 cases. So I don't have the discovery on 9778.
Is that the family violence case, Judge?
It's an injury to the elderly.
It is family violence case.
Family violence. Could you prepare an acknowledgement of discovery on 2023 CR 9778?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and state, were you able to tender an offer?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. How old are you, sir?
I'll be 40.
All right, if you could reset this for 1 month for a plea deadline date, please. All right, we'll be back on December 18th.
Is that a Thursday before the Friday? Is that, it's a Monday?
Yes.
I gotta figure out what my travel schedule is gonna be. I think it'll be okay, but I'll let the court know. My wife is planning a vacation around that time.
Oh, hey, does your wife want you on the vacation?
I'm planning for it. No, she's got the credit card, so I don't.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so we'll recall you back on December 18th. Mr. Cherick, if you think it's interfering with your vacation, let us know. We'll put it sooner.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Here. Dr. Review, any questions? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, they are on vacation. It's Deputy Laura. Yes, she and Vashawn ended up on the same vacation, not even knowing it. So they're on a cruise, enjoying their best life. I have no idea. Yes. So yeah, so they're enjoying their life. I think they're gonna be back next week. So I'm like, yay. But we've had good people standing in. There was a point where I wouldn't do vacations and people told me, you got to start doing vacations. Otherwise, there's going to be an issue. All right, Damian Fernandez. Who's the attorney for Damian Fernandez? Oh, hi.
I am. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right, who's the prosecutor on this case? It's Damian Alexander Fernandez. Hello.
He's off docket, Judge.
Oh, he's off docket.
Yes.
All right, so what we're gonna have to do, this is the issue. And I don't know if the state is aware of it, but I issued a judge's warrant. The reason why I issued a judge's warrant is because he has a charge, and I don't take any of this as true. Obviously, it's a family violence case. He has a charge for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and he was flagged because he attempted to purchase a weapon on November 8th.
Right.
So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to reschedule him for a hearing so that both parties can be aware. And then what I can do is we can bring this back on. We can bring it back on November 27th. That's the earliest I can do it.
It's fine.
All right. So if you'll give him a reset for November 27th, and we'll come back and we're here the issue on the judge's warrant.
Correct.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
And state if you need to bring witnesses, you'll need to bring witnesses.
Yes, Judge. Thank you very much.
All right. So I issued a judge's warrant on his case, and the reason why I issued a judge's warrant, because he has a family violence case, and also because he tried to purchase a firearm with an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. So we'll come back to hear that on that date. Well, it depends on how many witnesses they're gonna call, because it is because I remanded him without bond and I issued a judge's warrant, they will actually have to bring in witnesses if they want him to remain remanded without bond. All right, is the interpreter here yet? Ah, yes. Thank you. Brian Maldonado. And then after Brian Maldonado, it's going to be Isaiah Gibson.
Ready, Your Honor.
Hello. So good morning.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Good morning. So this is a case where I believe it's criminal trial division impersonation of an officer.
Correct.
So where are we? I know you do immigration. So has all of that been covered with him, the immigration issues?
Yes, it has, Judge.
All the discovery, do you have that?
I believe so, Your Honor. I signed the discovery acknowledgement today. There was recently a memo of disclosure. I've downloaded it, or it's in the process of downloading today. I don't think that's included in the discovery acknowledgement.
All right, and state, did you tender an offer?
Looks like we have to do
Okay.
previous times.
All right. Can we have a plea deadline date, please? And if you could put that maybe the second week in December, the second full week. December 7th will be your plea deadline date. After that, the court will not consider any plea bargaining agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, on the seventh.
Is there an issue with the
Yeah,
7th?
on the seventh, I have to be in Hayes County, Judge.
All right. Can we do it another date other than the 7th? December 5th?
That works.
All right, so the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements after December 5th without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, once you sign the reset form, you are excused. Thank you. Good seeing you.
See you too, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, next we're going to take up Isaiah Gibson. After Gibson, it will be Dennis Martinez.
Ready, Your Honor.
All right, the court is, thank you. Court is calling 2022 CR 1156, State of Texas versus Isaiah Gibson. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, hand your honor.
Defense?
James Seeloff for the defendant, Your Honor.
Are you Isaiah Gibson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, probation, this is an application.
Thank you.
Counsel.
Deferred. And it's, we're asking the court to waive PSI. The state recommends.
All right, just a second.
Okay.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have.
All right. Mr. Gibson, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, you said this was an application for deferred as well?
This is a deferred adjudication recommended by the state, part of the plea bargain. I just wanted to let you know.
All right, thank you. I see where you hand wrote that. All
Because
right.
you don't have a phone.
We
for
need an
deferred.
application for deferred
Or don't
adjudication.
you grant deferred? Is that why you don't have?
All right, they're printing some more. Oh, no, you can just ask other people in the courtroom. Yes, we give deferreds in this courtroom. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We waive.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented
Yes, you are, Your Honor.
on both counts? Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't say.
We're gonna go along count one, Judge. I'm assuming that's what defense counsel worked out with.
We talked about it.
All right. Any objection to the waiver of count two?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gibson, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense in count one of theft of a vehicle, $30,000 to $150,000
Yes, ma'am.
as a third degree felony?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is.
Mr. Gibson, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution, if any, to Home Depot located at 5638 West Loop 1604, San Antonio 78251. There is to be cats 1 and 2, and there's to be, well, the court will probably order no contact with Home Depot. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
That's our plea.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
This is it. If she follows the plea bargain, you can appeal.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes,
We'll
yes,
go
ma'am.
over that.
All right, counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 8 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and no contact with the Home Depot at 5638 West Loop 1604. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
To count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with office attachments.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor. Part of the plea bargain is they're gonna dismiss a misdemeanor case. I don't know if the court read off the number, but there
It's
is.
not in here.
It's a dismissal, and I believe prosecutor is gonna give it to you.
All right,
Thank you.
all right.
Am I right?
Yes, it's just not on the plea bargain agreement, so the judge would not know about it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. All right, state, you may continue to confer.
Thank you.
Going to show you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses? There'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, please.
All right, so why are you taking what does not belong to you?
I was homeless and it was an opportunity for me to get some money, a payment, and I just didn't know what to do at the time. And I'm just owning up to my mistakes, Your Honor.
How old are you?
26.
All right, being homeless doesn't give you the excuse or pass to commit crimes. Because if that's the case, then everybody can be homeless and everybody who's homeless can say, oh yeah, I robbed a bank, I'm homeless. And I'm admitting that I robbed a bank. Excuse me and forgive me because I'm homeless. That's not an excuse to commit crime. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There are laws. So do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
I have a 7-year-old, 1-year-old, and I have kids on the way.
So you have children on the way?
Yes, ma'am.
Perhaps twins.
All right. And how long have you been homeless?
That was back in 2020. I'm no longer homeless anymore.
Why would you, and this is just a question that I want answered because I'm always curious. And I think if you're in the legal field, you need to be curious. Why would you continue to have children when you're not stable? For example, you have a 7-year-old, a 1-year-old, and now you say you have children on the way. Why would you bring other children into this world and do activities that will result in children being brought in this world and you don't even have your life together?
That's just my mistake, Your Honor.
No, I mean, it's not a mistake. Those are choices. People choose to do whatever activities they do. So I'm trying to figure out why people keep doing activities or not being responsible in the activities that they do and bringing children in this world that they're not prepared to raise. Do you understand that taxpayers are tired of taking care of other people's children?
Yes, ma'am.
So these children that you're about to have, if you do daycare and you're getting, you don't have to pay the full price of daycare. You know why you don't? Because taxpayers are paying for it, not you. If you get housing and you're really supposed to be paying $2,500 a month and you're really paying $34 a month, you know who's picking up that tab? Taxpayers. Taxpayers are tired of doing that. And you're old enough to know better, and you're old enough to know where children come from. So why would you be irresponsible, make a choice to have these children, and you're not taking care of them?
Well, I am taking care of my 1-year-old son I have now, and that was like 2-3 years ago when I wasn't with my other mother of my child.
So how many mothers of children do you have?
Just 2.
All right. So while you're out there homeless, who was paying for your child to eat? Think about that. Because a 7-year-old, a 1-year-old, you can't just put them at Travis Park and say, well, I've helped create you, go forth, hunt for yourself. So when you're homeless and when you're saying, I can't get my life together, who is providing diapers for your children? Because I know people don't do cotton anymore because people think that's beneath them. But when you can't afford the Pampers or whatever, you should go back to cotton. So when you're homeless and not doing anything, who's supporting your children? Because it wasn't you.
At the time, it was the mother of my child.
Yeah. And so when you have children, you can't fall down on your job because they can't financially support themselves. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, since this has happened, he has been employed, and he assures me that he's employable once he's released.
All right. And why were you homeless?
Well, I just didn't want to go back home, and I couldn't find a good job because I lost my ID, and I just couldn't find the money to go get a new ID.
So you'd rather be homeless than go back home?
No, my mom wasn't allowing me to go back home.
All right. And how old were you?
I was 23 at the time.
All right. Is your mom a good mom?
Yes, ma'am.
So she probably wasn't allowing you to go back home because you don't want to follow her rules. And I always tell people, when you go back home to live with your mom, you're not an adult because you're not paying for the roof that's over your head and you're not paying for food. And I'm sure your mom probably was saying, I'm not going to have a grown man just living at my house doing nothing. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
I graduated high school.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
I was planning on getting my CDL and driving trucks because I have a cousin who has his own trucking company, and I wanted to drive trucks with him.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. There's restitution to Home Depot, if any. And that's the Home Depot located at 5638 West Loop, 1604, 78251. And there's to be no contact with Home Depot. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular UAs. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, the court will allow him 50 hours to be subtracted from the 200 hours. And I'm going to order that you're in some type of trade school. So if you want to get your CDL license, you can. Once that is done, then the remaining of the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. They want you to do cats 1 and 2. You have all these children that you need to take care of, and hopefully you can spend some time with. Here's my cats 1 and 2. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. If you rent a vehicle or rent property, you need to return it when it says it's due in the contract. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
I would like to get a new ID, but I still have to renew my license as well.
All right, so you'll have to do that. If you tell probation about that, they'll give you the steps that you need in order to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
But what I can tell you, I've recently had my license renewed, and guess what? You gotta make an appointment. And they're gonna want your birth certificate or either a passport. And if you don't have those, they will give you a temporary ID and make you pay the $33 for it. And guess what? It's only good for 2 weeks.
All right, sir.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I appreciate it. May I be excused?
Yes.
Good luck, okay?
Sure.
Good luck with your twins.
Yes, and if you'll just write it and be on the docket sheet that it's been reset and put in there that it's.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the day, so that's why I wanted it.
Yes. All right, thank you. Dennis Martinez, and after Dennis Martinez, it's gonna be Kevin Owens.
This. Okay.
Hi, and the reset issue?
No, Judge, we got the reset issue done. You had asked us to confer with the state about an ability for Mr. Martinez to travel to do a groundbreaking.
Yes.
They are taking a position that they're silent, leaving it up to the court on, to make that determination if he's going to be allowed to go do the groundbreaking on his.
Wait, this is just a groundbreaking?
It's a project, it's a new library in Las Vegas, like I raise capital for owning nonprofits around the country, and this is a major library. Now, this would be my firm's third library, and it's a big project, and I have not gone to travel, obviously, because of what I've caused, but the mayor's asked that I be part of the program, since I raised $40 million for the project. And so I was planning to go in on Sunday evening. The groundbreaking's on a Monday at 10 o'clock, and I'll be back that evening. So
Oh, Monday evening?
I'll leave on the 10th. I'll be back on the 11th.
Okay, all right, I'll allow that. If you, yes.
I'm not part of this case because I personally know Mr. Martinez,
Yeah.
so my other two cards aren't here.
All right, and that's why you're.
Yeah.
All right, I'll allow that, but if you'll fill out, ask for a B page, and if
Yes.
you'll fill out when he's there and when he's coming back.
Yes, ma'am, I will get that to the court.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
all right, you're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's the attorney on Kevin Owens?
I'm Judge.
All right, Mr. Owens. All right, today is your plea deadline date.
Yes, Judge.
So what is happening?
He has not received an offer that he is able to accept, Judge, so.
All right, so you will be back on December 4th, and you will be in impact court with Judge Angelini.
Okay, Judge. I do have a matter that I filed and I
Mhm.
spoke with the state on. Daniel, I think, said that we're gonna remain silent in regards to, he's got a job interview set on, and should be a motion in the file.
I'm sorry, I don't have, let me see.
Would not be printed up.
I don't have it. If you want to print that out and then reapproach, and I'll put you at the front.
Yes, Judge, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And on Owens?
Sure.
He's gonna come back on December 4th, and it's gonna be impact court. Tyrone Shepherd. And can you check with Ms. Ferguson and make sure I gave that the correct date? Because I do believe impact court is December 4th. All right, thank you.
Morning, Judge. Which side do you want us?
Good morning.
Which side
Oh,
do you
you're
want
on this side and he's in the center. All right, what is happening with these cases?
We completed the mental health, I guess, competency hearing a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get to see you. I think it was last week. I had surgery. Mr. Jim Paulus, I believe.
Yes.
As we're now, I've spoken to the state. I have a motion to take up, briefly on a discovery issue. And aside from that, we're gonna meet. I'm gonna meet with the state on Tuesday, but otherwise, I think put us on trial docket.
Okay, so what's the result of the competency?
He was found competent.
Okay. And has that already been heard by Judge Carruthers?
Yes, it has.
All right, and what is the discovery issue?
The discovery issue relates to the medical file of the complaining witness at the VA hospital. And, I filed motions to cover my bases. We can have the argument of whether or not,
Come around.
the state has an obligation to get this under Brady and Big Window, but the long story short is that the VA requires a order from the court to release that information. So I just was cutting out the middleman by including that.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring this back on November 30th.
Okay.
And at that time, I'll give you a jury trial setting, and at that time, we'll see where we are on the medical records.
Okay.
So state, if you can see, if you all have that, or if you all are gonna object to this, then we'll take.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in our possession, we'll turn it over. If it's not, I don't think we're required to go and find it.
All right, so on November 30th, we're gonna come back, and on that date, you will get your trial setting date, and we'll take up the issue of this discovery matter.
Okay. I guess I would ask the court if they could rule on, or if they could order.
Well, here's the thing. I know you want to cut out the middleman, but I like to do things where it's done as quickly as possible. Guess what? If the state has this and we're very crowded in court today, if they have this, they're going to give it to you. So there's no need for this.
My understanding is they don't have it. It's in the possession of the VA hospital.
Well, let's find out. We'll find out. So we'll come back on November 30th.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Once you receive the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
And counsel, that jury trial date may be in the new year.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, Annette Idrago. Who's the attorney for Annette Idrago?
That's me, Your Honor.
All right, today an offer was due. Has an offer been tendered?
It has, Your Honor. And what I would like to do is get a plea deadline date for her to consider it. And then we can come back and tell you if it's gonna be a plea or a trial.
All right, on Annette Idrago, can you recall that back on the 30th as well? All right, your plea deadline date is going to be November 30th. At that time, you'll need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm real sorry, but can we do it either 27, 20, 29, just because I'll be in Colorado.
Oh, what are you doing in Colorado?
Like every year I take my kid to Breckenridge, my wife.
All right, we'll put it on the 28th.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And then before you leave, Dinah's thinking about that. So if you can tell her what you all do in Colorado.
I will. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
A lot of fun. Do sleigh rides and stuff. Really, it's fun.
Yeah, she wants to know where to go and what to see.
Okay.
All right, then with that, you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just have a seat. I'll take it. And I'll have the investigation on that.
Robert Van Horn.
Present, Your Honor. May I approach?
Yes, please.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is a travel permit file. I hope it's in the court's file. It was submitted by pretrial services this week, maybe the end of last week. If the court doesn't have it, I've sent it to Mr. Gary Han and he can also print it for us.
All right.
If you'd like to hear more, I can keep talking, and if not.
Well,
I'll
I
be
see
quiet.
that it's previously been granted
Yes,
before.
it was to a different location.
Okay, and what I can tell you is, let me see if I have this. I do not. I don't have the motion in here. I have an agreed order that was previously signed on July.
Yes, Your Honor, that job, he's the contractor, that job ended and they're starting a new project in a different part of the state. And so, did it not come through?
Oh, I got you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I don't have it. If y'all are in agreement, because I see that it's been granted in the past, if y'all will either pull it or pull a B page and the court will grant it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can send it to you right
Oh,
now.
sure, go ahead.
And I can send it to Jason.
All right, Nicholas Isaiah Corpus. And then after that, it will be Kevin Owens. Who's here on Nicholas Isaiah Corpus? Ah, okay. Is this a matter that's currently on the docket or no?
Yes, Judge, I'd approached to inform to the court to reconsider the ISF, and you'd have me set it.
Okay.
And we set it for today.
All right, let me see. All right, just give us a moment. We're having, if you all will wait in the box, because we'll have to put it on the record and the court reporter needs to make an emergency phone call.
Yes, ma'am.
So just give us a moment. And counsel on Mr. Owens? The court reporter has to go making a phone call very quickly, but as soon as she comes back, I'll take that up and then we'll do Mr. Corpus. Who's here on Amanda Christian requesting removal of GPS?
Yes. I need that. I don't know where that is. I had served Jack with the motion.
Okay, all right.
This is the removal of the GPS. Amanda Christian.
All right, let me see here. And is your client here or no?
No, I just filed this and I just thought I would approach it if you either would grant it or if you want to set it for a hearing.
Okay, sure. Let me look at the police report.
You placed her.
Oh, this is the HEB incident. Yes, no, I'm not going to grant the motion to remove GPS.
Can you please make it partial then, because she can't work? I mean, she doesn't really work much, but she said she kind of wanted to get a part-time job.
All right. And let me see, she was placed on September 11th.
We've got her on deferred this week, I think, last week. It was just within the last week.
Oh, November 9th.
Yeah.
All right, if you have probation, look it up. And where does she have employment or does she not have employment?
She doesn't have any yet.
All right, so what she'll need to do, because my understanding, things have changed now with employment, everything is electronic. Even the McDonald's is electronic for you to file for. If she files, they want to do an interview or something with her, I'll allow her to go to an interview. And then once she presents the court with a work schedule, I'll allow a work schedule.
And Judge, just so, because I'm sure she's going to ask this question, since she had no violations with this GPS the whole time she was on bond, is it your intention to keep her on this GPS the whole term of her deferred?
No.
General?
Yeah. No, well, let's just see. If she comes back in 4 months and there are no issues, then I'll consider it.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, welcome. Judge. Thanks. Hello. All right, and then Robert Van Horn on the travel permit. Who's the person here for Robert Van Horn? All right, you're welcome.
Damon.
All right, everyone, we're gonna take a 10-minute break because the court reporter is making a phone call. So now everyone, you can talk as loud as you want to.
Thanks, Judge.
Oh, and then I say that and she's back. Are you okay, Donna? Okay. All right, Kevin Owens.
What happened to our 10 minutes?
Well, it was. All right, Orlando,
Yes, sir.
do you want to give them their 10 minutes?
No, I don't. I've been here for 2 hours.
Blame your colleague. So we'll take this matter up and then we're going to go on a break for 10 minutes to give everybody a chance to confer and get whatever paperwork you have ready.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2023 CR 8385, State of Texas versus Kevin Owens. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Orlando Castañon.
All right, the court is in receipt of a request to allow Mr. Owens to travel on November 20th to Sustainable Staffing located at 8008 West Avenue, Suite 2, from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. for a job interview, and also to travel for a job fair on November 29th, 2023 at Southeast Education Center, 5230 Eisenhower Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78218 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. State, do you have any objections?
No, John.
All right,
Thank
it will be allowed. And once you sign the reset form,
Yes, Judge.
you're excused.
Okay.
All right, everyone, we're on a short break, so please confer. You know what I find strange? When we're on the record, everybody's very loud. Now that they're conferring, everybody's whispering. I'm like,
Because they can't, hear each other when you're.
I just need to run to mine real quick. I have a real quick MCR. We're waiting on the judge, but I'm here and I just didn't want to go to the back of the line, but I'm just gonna pop over there.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Well, no, if you send them notice, and they have it now where you can do it online, if you send them notice, letting them know that you're not a resident of Hidalgo County, then they'll remove you. Yeah. Oh, well, the problem is though, if you are legally a resident of a different county, then you can. No. Yes, 2 minutes. Okay, sure. So yeah, you need to just let them know you're not a resident there, that you're a resident in Bear County. And then check and make sure, because I don't know, maybe they haven't updated their roles, but make sure that you're truly listed, because your voter registration is here, right? Okay, yeah. So make sure that they remove you. Yes. Sure, no problem. Yeah.
Last day before you. Well.
Yes. Okay. Let me see if I have the here. All right, they pulled the file. I'll see if I have it.
I just see Peter trial.
Right, but so if you're.
It's Friday.
Alicia Small. Alicia Small. Joseph Montemoreno. Joseph Montemoreno. George Hawkins. George Hawkins. Esther Orlando Diaz. Where are you? We've completed the case on Jesus Lopez, correct or no? That was Robert Lopez. Okay. All right. Yes, could you call and see where the attorney is?
Yeah, I'm back, Judge.
All right, we're just taking our break. Okay, sure. So. Yeah. Oh, and I'm sorry, which cases were reset because the attorney was, the client was ill? so that I can put it on my docket, so I'll know not to call that. Page 2. Okay, just 1 second. Yes. Oh, what date did you give it? Okay, and he's ill, right?
Yes.
The client? Oh, okay, then let's just put it. We can put that either at the end of the month or we can put it in December. So what date do you want it? Yeah, we can. Oh. Deputy Mejia, will you let, oh, Joseph Montemoreno? Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, all right, thank you. And then, have you already put it in the file, or do you need me to do that? Can you pull Joseph Montemoreno, please? Yeah. Okay, and then who's the next one? Mhm. Yes. Yes. Mhm. Yes. Could I see the file on Antonio Barrientos? Deputy Mejia, will you let Antonio Barrientos know his attorney is out ill and ready to recall him for November 28th? Okay. All right. State, Antonio Barrientos is being reset for November 28th. The attorney is out ill. Okay, Judge, thank you. Mhm.
That's the one you're presenting for the docket. Also, that one that should say data from other people.
I just took what was given. I have the signals.
Okay, thank you. And Deputy Mejia?
Yes.
On Christian Torres, we're gonna call that back on December 5th as well. Yes. It's Christian Torres Lugo. All right, is there, and then this one. November 20th.
Right below. The other page before.
All right. And Deputy Mejia, Mark Anthony Reyes, the attorney is ill. We'll bring that back on December 5th. And State, Mark Anthony Reyes on page 4, that's going to be recalled for December 5th as well. All right, so then that leaves these are the cases that are remaining. Gary Cherrick for on page 2, John Henry Bueno. Okay. And then we have Pio Quinto Leon. I think they're working on that. And then, yeah, and then Alicia Small. All right, could I see the file on Alicia Small, please? Alicia Small. Is she in custody or on bond? Okay, when do you want to recall that for? Sure. Yeah, we could do December 7th. State Alicia Small, and I believe that's Criminal Trial Division on the MTR docket. Her attorney's in jury trial. I'm sorry, let me hold that file back. Her attorney's in jury trial, so that's coming back on December 7th.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, and then on the next page, we have John Coates.
We're saying Judge, Megan is in the
Okay. And then we still have George Hawkins, who's not here. Could you pull the file on George Hawkins? Then George Hawkins. Okay, he's not here. And then we have Julie Pollock on Ariane Diaz. Okay, well, it sounds like we'll probably be calling that back this afternoon, but let's see. And then we have Jacqueline Lamerson on Delateria. Okay. Okay. And then we have the next page, Justin Gamboa, and I see David Rodriguez there. Okay. And then Christopher Dela Cruz, I see that one. So, yeah. All right. And then we'll take it the rest when we get there. All right, thanks. Yes. All right, thank you so much.
She likes to read.
All right, could I see a prosecutor on George Hawkins, please? And I show that he is on bond. Court is calling 2023 CR 7315, State of Texas versus George Laverne Hawkins. Can I have state announced for the record, please?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
This case was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:22 a.m. The defendant has not made an appearance. State?
The state is requesting a bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
All right, that will be granted and he will be remanded without bond. If he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And can you check and make sure that on George Hawkins, that's not a PR bond that was granted to him? It was. All right, who's here on Tolentino with a request to travel for Thanksgiving? All right, state, if you all want to look at that.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't.
We have it.
All right, so are you all in agreement with the travel for Thanksgiving or no?
For the trouble for Thanksgiving, Your Honors, yeah, we are in agreement.
Okay, all right, thank you. But not for the Sundays.
And I wish counsel was here, but I think in substance, we agree, Your Honor, but in form, we are wondering if there's any potential like curtailing of maybe a few hours on a certain day of the week as opposed to just.
Well, what I'll do then, since the attorney's not here, and y'all are not, well, you all want some time constraints, I will deny the grocery store, but I'll allow the Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Then they can come back for the grocery store.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hey, Judge, I'm back on that. I think you just called towing, you know.
All right. Did you have hours for her for Sundays in the grocery store?
She didn't really give me hours, but I think 4 hours would be 5 hours.
All right, this is what I'll do, because she hasn't given you hours and they're gonna want it. I'm gonna agree to her to do the Thanksgiving thing. For now, I'll deny the Sundays, but she'll need to give you hours and everything for that.
Okay, so if she gives me hours, does she just need to contact pretrial services or?
Well, no, if she'll contact you and you file the motion for the hours, and then
Okay.
we'll go along with that.
Okay, Judge, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Thanks, sir. Good seeing you. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. John Bueno. And then after John Bueno, it will be Van Horn and Corpus. All right, court is calling 2020 CR 8206, State of Texas versus John Henry Bueno. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
David Cavazos for the state.
Gary Chirek for the defendant.
All right, and are you Mr. John Henry Bueno?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is this still going to be a contested hearing?
It is not, Judge.
All right.
True.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same John Henry Bueno who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 8206 for the offense of online solicitation of a minor sexual conduct on September 8, 2021 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Your Honor, the state's gonna proceed on violation of condition number 14JB. That'll be on the first page, and we're gonna waive and abandon all other violation. The state is alleging that on or about the 17th day of July 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, John Henry Bueno, did then and there fail to comply with instructions of the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department Sex Offender Program, and that the defendant used internet to access an email with intent to meet someone, namely Airwolf 882000 @yahoo.com in violation of condition 14JB.
How do you plead to that? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, so could you repeat?
Sure, I'll
that?
repeat the whole thing.
You got it?
Oh.
Okay. All right, to that, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
All right, state, and you're waiving the other allegations in the
That's
motion?
correct, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation 14JB, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of 14JB?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find 14JB true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement in this case, the state is recommending that the defendant be adjudicated, and the court enter a finding of guilt and impose a sentence of imprisonment for a term of 5 years.
All right, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
We are, Your Honor, with the understanding that my client does have some mental illnesses. He does bipolar depression. I think depression is one of the reasons he does this, is he's lonely.
Well, who does he live with?
I'm homeless. He's homeless.
But he's finding computers even though he's homeless?
We had a phone, not a computer.
Oh. Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes. Yes. ma'am.
All right, then the court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. All right, is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the defense.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal. You do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to the attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. It's probably best for you that you're not online at all. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes. Robert Van Horn.
Judge, just to let you know, I did reach out to Sam Locke, that's on that case.
Mhm.
He was making the impression that he could leave, so I texted him.
No, it's set for the 30th. That's why I have it set down for.
But I think he was asking for the travel. And then it was
Yes.
gonna be printed out and he
And I
said,
think I signed it. Did I
Okay.
sign it? Yes.
so I think that it's over with.
Yes, we're done.
Okay,
Okay,
I
all right.
did text him, so I'll let him know that he doesn't need to return, that it's been signed.
All right, thank you. All right, are you all ready on Nicholas Corpus?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 7339, State of Texas versus Nicholas Corpus. All right, before we go on the record, so here's the thing. If he's accepted for inpatient treatment at Lifetime Recovery, then he can go to Lifetime Recovery.
Okay, well, Judge, I was asking basically if he could be allowed to just have it held in abeyance and if he's not having any problems.
The Lifetime Recovery?
Either one. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, if Lifetime Recovery, if they're accepting him, then we can have ISF in abeyance. And I understand, counsel, what you've instructed me and instructed the state is that there's no alcohol issues. But it appears that there may be. So that issue needs to be taken care of. And if that's not taken care of, something else is going to end up happening. He's either going to get a motion to revoke because he's not allowed to drink alcohol at all while he's on probation, because that's the law. So if he is accepted and you get him accepted into Lifetime Recovery inpatient treatment, then he will not have to do ISF. He can go straight to Lifetime Recovery.
Okay, do we know if there's a wait period for Lifetime?
I don't know.
Would you do it through the jail diversion programs?
What is the quickest way?
I think the jail diversion program, we've already submitted the packet as of last week for ISF.
Hmm.
So, I can email Ms. Espinosa and find out what the wait time is. I think it just depends on how they process. They don't give us a usual on wait time. I've seen like 2 weeks
For ISF or Lifetime?
for Lifetime, and ISF is 1 to 3 weeks, any medical insurance. So it looks like the legal's done. I don't see any.
Is, how long is the Lifetime program?
I believe it's 9 months.
And so, but it's not in a jail facility, is that right?
No, Lifetime Recovery is at a different placement. And if you, and I've toured the Lifetime Recovery, it's a great place. If you want to pick up the phone and call them and tell them about your client, they'll probably take him quicker.
Yeah, I can do that. I need to get the contact information. I don't have it.
All right.
May I talk to my client?
Sure. And so we'll do Lifetime Recovery first.
So would you want me to go ahead and let our coordinator know to withdraw his placement on the list for ISF at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
And then if we need to put him back on ISF, we will. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Everyone, the court is recessing at 12. So if you have something that's ready, and if you don't want to come back at 12, then you need to ask the clerk to pull your file and we'll take your matter up.
I'm ready, Judge, except I'm just making my client come.
Okay.
My mom.
All right, thank you. Who's here on Proquinto Leon?
Judge, I'm present for Mr. Leon.
All righty. How are you doing?
I'm well, Judge. How are you?
All right.
You ready for the holidays?
Hmm?
Are you ready for the holidays?
Yeah. Are we ever really ready for the holidays? It always starts out that you're going to do certain things, then you do not do them. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 10531W, State of Texas versus Pio Quinto Leon. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Second for the state, Your Honor.
Kim Gonzalez for defense.
And are you Mr. Leon?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you're standing in because?
For Mr. Locke, that she had something this afternoon he had to be on time for, so.
Okay. It has Jennifer Locke listed as the attorney.
That may be because she's on the bond, Judge.
Okay. All right. Counsel, have you received all the discovery that you reviewed with your client?
Yes, Judge.
All right. And do you have any objection to this attorney standing in?
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
Your Honor.
understand it?
Yes, I understand.
And did you sign it?
Yes.
Going to show you what's entitled waiver of indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 in the Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 26.03. Did you have a chance to review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear this case and make a decision on whether or not to hold you over for trial, i.e. indict you? Did you understand?
Yes, I understand. Your Honor.
Did you understand that your attorney has certain rights, namely 3 days from the presentation of the information, 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, showing you what's entitled information. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did understand, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Liam, I'm showing you what's entitled courts admonishment and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, all of the above, Your Honor.
All right, off the record. Deputy Mejia, could you move them down to that end? We're back on the record. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of violation of bond protective order assault as a third-degree felony? The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, I understand.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Leon, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes, I am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I understand that.
According to the plea, state is recommending deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with 2022 CR 9798, taking consideration grand jury number 802090. They're going to reject grand jury number 809802. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Adriana Leon. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, I understand.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state,
Yes, Your Honor.
showing you the waiver repeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you
Yes, I
sign
reviewed
it
it.
in both places?
Yes,
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
yes, I was.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. And you are to follow all civil orders regarding child custody, I'm assuming. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, have you any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers states one and attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, and have you spoken to the complainant?
We have, Your Honor.
And is the complainant aware of this agreement and in agreement?
They are, Your Honor. Yes.
You may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, I do understand.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses, statements, and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
All right, off the record for a moment. Could I see the state
Yes, Your Honor.
and defense? That's it. All right, so you all only have the affidavit? All right.
Triple check. Yes.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, I just wanted to be clear.
Thank you, ma'am.
And defense, you have no objection with the court proceeding on the affidavit?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are prepared to do that, Judge.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we're just respectfully asking that the court follow the plea agreement. We've had lengthy discussions about what is and is not acceptable and what is expected of the court. And he understands that there is to be no contact going forward and that the only thing he needs to focus on is the civil issues going forward and keeping the kids in a safe place and worrying about following custody orders as well as your orders, Your Honor.
All right, so why shouldn't I send him to prison? That's my question.
Judge, I think there's been a toxic environment and relationship between the parties. I think they finally realized that, I know it appears to be one-sided, but there have been two-sided issues for a few years now. Some infidelity and some things like that. I think now they're finally at a point where they're really able to.
Well,
are
if
willing
people
to
cheat
walk
on
away.
you, you have 2 options. Either you accept it and you forgive, or either you tell them, I'm not going to be with you anymore. I don't know why people think that infidelity means, oh, I get to hit on somebody. Oh, DeWalt, you raising your hand? Have you been cheated on? Okay, all right. I was like, what? All right, I was like, what? Because I don't believe that.
May I speak?
Yes.
I do agree and I forgave her for doing that. She's been going in and out, cheating on me, and I respect that. I have not hit her at all. But yeah, I understand this being a toxic relationship. I think it's best for me to have no contact with her.
All right. Are you employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work for SureMed. It's an emergency medical services.
All
I'm a
right.
driver.
Okay. Court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication, the BIPP course. This will run concurrent with 2022 CR 9798. There's an affirmative finding. And I'm sorry, did you realize with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, I understand that.
And that you realize with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
And knowing that you still wish for the court to follow this plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there'll be an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Adriana Leon outside of court proceedings.
Yes, right.
So when you're in court and you all are sitting at the table, that's as close as ever you're going to be to her. When she leaves the courtroom, you wait till she leaves the building and leaves the premises. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Your relationship with her is over in the sense that you have no contact with her.
Yes.
If you all have a custody arrangements with the children, that needs to be done through a third party. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
That means that you are not going to send her a card saying Happy Mother's Day. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
The relationship is over.
Yes.
All right. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. You are to follow all civil judgments and orders as it relates to child custody. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. You are to do intensive parenting classes. There's to be a rejection of grand jury number 809802. They're taking in consideration grand jury number 8. You all put, okay, 802090. There's to be regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month until further notice. How's child custody arrangements currently?
Right now, there's not any visitation judges.
All right. So I'm going to order no unsupervised contact with minors until further notice. If for some reason the civil side says he's allowed to have contact, unsupervised contact, then you all can come back to the court.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Probation, is there anything else he needs? We can do a TAP evaluation out of custody and follow TAP recommendations. If TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment. All right, is there anything else?
It's just the, we just want to make sure we had the withdrawal of the MTR, so there's no.
Oh, they'll have to file the motion. I haven't
think he
received it.
has. I think he has.
Your Honor, state's already signed up.
Okay.
Okay, and I believe that's it, but may we be excused?
Just a moment. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. And I'm sorry, just one more thing, because I have concerns. I'm going to order GPS partial and I'll waive the fees. And he's allowed to work and he's allowed to go to all court hearings. And then if you want to approach the court in 4 months' time, you can come back. And if there are no violations, the court will strongly consider removing it.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you, Judge.
Yes. Just- All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I read the report. And honestly, the main reason that you are now on deferred adjudication and not at the prison is because the complainant wants you to be on probation and not at the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
That day is a day that your 12-year-old will forever remember. And how many children do you have?
3 boys.
3 boys.
Yes.
So let me just tell you what your boys have learned from you and in this toxic relationship. They've learned that toxic relationships are the norm. They've learned that if you love somebody, you hit them. And it's going to take a lot to undo that. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes. Sure, no problem. Everyone, we're about to go on our lunch break because it's at 12. So anybody who's trying to rush with 2 minutes left, your time has passed. Leonard Johnson. Yes.
Right. In
Just 1 second. Oh, no, we can do it. It's that defense counsel that we're gonna do that. So we'll do that over. Okay, thank you. Mr. Cox, always good to see you.
Always good to be seen, Judge.
All right, and I'm gonna tell you.
Take the 2-minute warning. But
Oh, you're welcome. And you know, I always think that things should be done from the heart. And if it's not, if you don't mean it, you shouldn't say it, right? So I can't say that I'm sorry that LSU defeated Florida. What I will say is I understand your pain.
it's referees.
Hey, but it wasn't the referees.
Death Valley at night on a Saturday night is hard to win.
Hey, but it wasn't close.
Who was it? Most of the game.
All right, so you have all the discovery?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, what we're gonna do is going to be a plea. I just
Okay.
want to know whether we can do it tomorrow or next week, but it's going to be a
Oh.
plea.
Oh, we can come back this afternoon and do it.
That's fine.
All right, so we'll be back this afternoon to do the plea.
All right. Yes, Judge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 1:30.
Wait for my here. It's just an announcement.
Okay. And this one is done. And who is your client? I don't have it. Who's? All right, as soon as it put up there, we'll take it. Tanya Ortega. Who's Tanya Ortega?
I'll be telling you.
All right. Alvin Mendoza. Yeah, after lunch. And you've been so patient, but I just got your file up here. Thank you, Nathaniel. Leonard Johnson. That's the one that's coming back at 1:30. All right. I'm waiting for the file, and then we'll take it up.
May I approach?
Well, after I get the file.
I had an off docket and they put the 3 motions up there a while back. Or supposed to be good. Thomas Pellissier.
I don't have that up here. Just 1 second.
Sure.
Adrian Delatero. All right, you come forward. All right, counsel, in this case, have you received all the discovery?
No, Your Honor.
All right, what is missing?
there's some video from the alleged crime scene that the detective indicated in his report he had not been able to procure in the state's look for it.
All right.
That's accurate, Judge. I did reach out to the detective and actually got a response. I haven't talked to Mr. Martinez about it yet, but that he had not obtained that video yet. It has been indicted, so states, I guess, is proceeding without it, obviously. But at this point, we are still trying to obtain it. It's not in our possession, though.
All right. Should we do it in a month and bring it back and see where we are?
That's fine. Just so you know, I just got hired a few days ago.
All right. On deleterio, could we recall this back in 1 month, please, for discovery? All right, we'll come back on December 19th.
Right, John, Adrian.
Yes, sir.
Who's on Justin Gamboa? All right, if you'll come forward. Yeah, I don't have those motions up here. Court is calling 2023 CR 8957, State of Texas versus Justin Gamboa. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Casey Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
David Rodriguez for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Gamboa?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and probation, there's no application? Counsel, have you received all the, oh my gosh, she wasn't here. You guys can see, I can't see over this
You want to do
computer.
it again?
We are gonna have to.
All right.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 8957, State of Texas versus Justin Gamboa. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? For the state. That's okay. For the defense?
David Rodriguez for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Gamboa?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gamboa, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Okay. Counsel, are you waiving the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
All right, did you understand you're charged with the offense of terroristic threat peace officer? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Did you? Yes. All right. And did you understand by giving up those rights, you're asking that the court proceed with your plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
And are you intending to give up those rights and proceed with the plea in this case?
No. Yes. Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gamboa, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
I'm sorry. Who was?
Are you with us today?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
All right, are you having a problem following along?
No, ma'am.
All right. Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes. Yes, a U.S. citizen.
Okay, do you think there's an issue here?
I really don't. I mean, we were able to talk. He was able to tell me about what happened and.
Has anyone threatened you?
No, ma'am.
Coerced you?
No, ma'am.
Or forced you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you sure everything is okay here? Or is he just responding slow?
No, I'm probably just responding slow, but I'm understanding.
Okay. According to the plea bargaining agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 120 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all the attachments.
No objection.
All right, Mr. Gambo, I'm showing you the waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney?
Did I review that with my attorney? Yes.
All right, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state is not going to call any witnesses to testify? That
Yes.
they're, all right. And did you understand that they're going to be using the police reports to prove their case?
Yes.
And so you understand nobody's coming in to testify?
Yes.
All right. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Gamboa, I understand that a lot of times people want to rush through cases, like attorneys are like, we're ready to go. Not you. But when people are not before me, attorneys are like, Judge, move it along, we're ready to go. But I'm reading things in this report. One, he has the machete. They say usually he has a machete. Is there some mental health issues going on here? Is there homelessness? What is the issue?
You're homeless, right?
Yes. I've been homeless for quite a few years.
All right. So have you ever been diagnosed with any type of mental health issues?
No, I haven't been diagnosed yet, but no, I was hoping to go to Haven so I could get some psychiatric help or counseling.
All right. So I know you've been here for a while, but I have some slight concerns with him saying he's never had any mental health treatment, but he's hoping to go for Haven for Hope and get some psychiatric medications. And then in the police report, I have this issue with him walking around with a machete. And I understand that sometimes when people are homeless, they want to use certain things for protection. So we're not going to send you back. We're going to try to solve this issue that we have. And if you all, after considering all of those things, you still believe he's competent and he still wants to go with this plea, I'll accept it. But if there's something else that can be done so he doesn't come back here again, because what I see happening is I can give him the 120 days and he'll probably be back here with another judge, another prosecutor, another attorney for some other offense. So if y'all want to confirm that, and we'll bring y'all back at 1:30. Okay, let's do that. All right, these cases are done. Those are done. Okay, and everyone, I apologize, but I need to take a break. Everybody needs to take a break. It's noontime. So we'll be back at 1:30. And I need to make sure the staff and everybody eats before I get accused